Welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into a topic that's impacting millions across the country: America's retail crisis. Over the past few years, we've witnessed the slow and painful collapse of some of the most iconic retail giants. From stores we grew up with to brands that were once synonymous with luxury and convenience, the writing is on the wall. What's driving this downfall? Are supply chain issues, rising tariffs, and changing shopping habits the real culprits? Or is something deeper at play? Retailers are fighting an uphill battle as their debts pile up and consumer behavior shifts. Some of America's biggest names are closing stores, laying off workers, and even filing for bankruptcy. But what's next? Can these brands survive, or are they simply a shadow of their former selves? What do you think about the state of American retail? Comment 1 if you agree that the retail landscape is collapsing, or 0 if you think there's hope for a comeback. Enjoy the video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Now let's uncover the full story. The retail crisis in America is not just a wave of destruction, but the culmination of various factors, including the economic downturn, tariff policies, and the changing behavior of consumers. Once iconic retail chains are now sinking in debt, millions of workers face the threat of losing their jobs, and the economy is paying the price for the collapse of a vital industry. To better understand this crisis, we need to examine it from multiple perspectives, from its causes to the lessons we must learn. Over $30 billion in revenue has been lost, a figure that highlights the severity of the crisis. Major retail chains, once symbols of prosperity in the retail industry, like Macy's, Sears, and JCPenney, have started to drown in debt. According to statistics, the total debt of the retail industry has surpassed $5 billion, and the situation is worsening as stores continue to face declining revenue. The main cause of this crisis is not only the economic recession, but also changes in consumer behavior. Today's consumers no longer prefer shopping at malls. Instead, they have turned to online shopping, a trend accelerated by e-commerce platforms like Amazon and fast delivery services. Traditional retail brands have failed to keep up with this shift, losing market share and unable to maintain their revenue. Another factor contributing to the decline of the retail industry is the tariffs imposed by the U.S. government. A 25% increase in tariffs has caused the cost of importing products from other countries to skyrocket. Common consumer goods like dresses, shoes, and home appliances are no longer affordable at the same prices as before. A $50 dress can now cost up to $25, while a $500 sofa has become a luxury item priced at $650. These changes have made consumers more cautious with their spending. They no longer want to pay for expensive products and instead seek out cheaper alternatives or switch to online shopping, where they can easily compare prices and find deals. Shopping malls, once bustling shopping destinations, are now emptier than ever. Foot traffic to malls has decreased by 20% compared to the previous year. Previously, these malls were gathering places for families to meet, socialize, and have fun. But now, with the rise of online shopping and changes in consumer lifestyles, shopping malls have lost their appeal. Moreover, many consumers prefer not to go to crowded shopping malls to save time and energy. Online shopping has become easier than ever, with fast delivery services and the ability to search for any product in just minutes. This crisis has made one thing clear: if retail chains do not adapt to technological trends, they will be left behind. Companies need to update their business models and invest in digital transformation. Building robust e-commerce platforms, improving delivery services, and optimizing the online shopping experience are essential steps to staying competitive. The rise in tariffs has increased the burden on retail businesses. As a result, they need to reconsider their pricing strategies. Retailers need to find ways to minimize costs, such as collaborating directly with manufacturers, optimizing production processes, and seeking cheaper supply sources to maintain reasonable prices for consumers. One lesson that retail businesses can learn is the importance of customer service. While price may be an important factor, excellent service will bring customers back. Creating a pleasant, quick, and convenient shopping experience will help build customer loyalty. In addition to improving service, retail businesses also need to build close and personalized relationships with their customers. When customers feel cared for and understand their needs, they are more likely to return and support the business long-term. Macy's was once one of the greatest icons of American retail. With over 800 stores and revenue exceeding $24 billion in the 2000s, Macy's was not just a retail chain, but an essential part of American consumer culture. Its store network served not only daily shopping needs, but also hosted major events, such as the iconic annual Thanksgiving Parade in New York. However, in 2025, Macy's announced plans to close an additional 150 stores, leaving only about 350 to 400 stores nationwide. From a glorious symbol, Macy's is now witnessing an irreversible decline. One of the key factors contributing to Macy's downfall is the shift in consumer shopping habits. Over the years, American consumers have transitioned to online shopping, embracing the rapid growth of platforms like Amazon, Walmart Online, and smaller e-commerce stores. The convenience of finding products easily and having them delivered to one's doorstep has attracted customers, causing physical stores, including Macy's, to lose loyal shoppers. This has significantly reduced Macy's revenue, especially as the store couldn't retain customers in a highly competitive business environment. Macy's failed to adapt quickly enough to the online shopping trend. Although it began improving its online sales channels, the company was unable to catch up with competitors like Amazon or Target, which had built strong e-commerce platforms early on. As a result, Macy's lost a significant portion of its market share and is no longer the preferred choice for consumers. While digital transformation was crucial, another major blow pushed Macy's into a dead end: the tariff war under the Trump administration. With over 70% of Macy's merchandise imported from countries like China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, tariffs have significantly increased import costs. Tariffs ranging from 10% to 25% on apparel and consumer goods have driven up product prices. Shirts, jeans, and dresses that previously cost $15 are now priced at $25. This has made consumers even more reluctant to spend money on these items, especially in the context of an economy facing difficulties and many households no longer having the disposable income they once did. Supply chain costs have also surged, making it difficult for Macy's to maintain reasonable prices for its products. This not only affects profit margins, but also diminishes its ability to compete with smaller online rivals, companies that can easily lower prices due to their online operations, which don't have the fixed costs of physical store spaces and retail staff wages. Another contributing factor to Macy's decline is its ongoing debt issues. The company has been burdened with a massive long-term debt load with high interest rates. Maintaining this debt has increased financial pressure on Macy's as operating costs, ranging from employee wages to property taxes, continue to rise. Meanwhile, revenue has not been enough to cover these costs, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to break free from. The rising debt not only makes it difficult for Macy's to maintain operations, but also reduces its ability to invest in new business strategies. The company has been unable to reinvest in technology, marketing, or improving the customer shopping experience due to its growing debt. This is a systemic issue that Macy's cannot solve overnight, and it has pushed the company into a precarious position. The change in consumer behavior serves as an important lesson for all traditional retail companies. Digital transformation, building strong online sales platforms, and enhancing the online customer experience are not just marketing strategies, but essential survival factors. Companies cannot continue to rely solely on traditional sales models without investing in technology. The tariff war under Trump is a prime example of how government policies can profoundly affect the retail industry. Companies need to be more attuned to political changes and global market fluctuations. To maintain sustainability, companies need to develop strategies for dealing with changes in tariffs, import costs, and other macroeconomic factors. Maintaining an uncontrollable debt system has been a major factor in Macy's decline. Retail businesses need to have a sound financial management strategy, minimize debt, and optimize operating costs. This not only helps the company survive through tough times, but also ensures the ability to reinvest in critical initiatives. CVS, one of the largest pharmacy and retail chains in the United States, was once a familiar destination for millions of consumers, offering not only medications but also everyday consumer products. However, in 2025, CVS is facing an unprecedented difficult period in its history. The company has announced the closure of more than 900 stores and plans to close hundreds more in 2026. Although CVS's annual revenue still exceeds $300 billion, its retail division is encountering severe challenges, especially as consumers turn to discount chains and online shopping. In previous years, CVS had become a household name in the retail industry, with thousands of stores across the country. However, by 2025, CVS's retail segment saw a dramatic drop in sales, down nearly 12% from the previous year. Consumers are increasingly drawn to more affordable options from chains like Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Walmart, which offer consumer products at much lower prices than CVS. Additionally, the rise of online shopping platforms such as Amazon and home delivery services has caused many customers to stop visiting physical stores. This has not only led CVS to lose customers, but also forced it to face high operating costs while maintaining its vast network of stores nationwide. Tariffs, particularly from the trade war between the US and China, have severely impacted the retail industry in the US, and CVS is no exception. Some of CVS's products, ranging from decorative items, cosmetics, to personal care products, are imported from China and Southeast Asian countries. With tariffs increasing from 15% to 25% on consumer goods, the cost of these products has surged significantly. This has caused CVS major difficulties in maintaining reasonable prices for its products. Customers, especially those with lower incomes, have increasingly turned to dollar stores or retail chains like Walmart, where prices are much more affordable. Being unable to compete on price has led CVS to lose a significant portion of its loyal customers, causing its retail division to fall into a tough spot. In addition to tariffs, another factor contributing to CVS's troubles is its high operating costs. Maintaining thousands of stores across the country means rising expenses for rent, staff, and other costs. CVS faces fierce competition from online retail rivals and dollar chains, who can keep costs much lower due to not having to maintain a large physical store network. Furthermore, theft rates at CVS stores have risen, leading to significant financial losses. These thefts not only result in financial damages but also reduce the shopping experience for customers, who no longer feel safe or comfortable shopping in the stores. This has created a vicious cycle, increasing costs, decreasing revenue, and growing difficulties in maintaining operations. To cope with the challenging situation in retail, CVS has started shifting focus to healthcare services, including expanding its Minute Clinic network and offering medical services. While this is a potential growth avenue, it has not been enough to save the company's retail business. These healthcare services account for only a small portion of CVS's total revenue and cannot quickly replace the lost retail sales. Although CVS has taken many positive steps to adapt to the market, this shift has not been sufficient to fill the gap left by the decline in its retail division. Healthcare services could be an important aspect of the company's future, but for now, CVS is still grappling with the issues of revenue and costs. Online shopping has completely changed how consumers spend and search for products. Retail companies, especially those with both physical and online stores, must heavily invest in online sales platforms, optimize user experience, and provide convenient delivery options. Companies cannot solely focus on physical stores if they wish to stay competitive in a market where consumers increasingly prefer online shopping. Tariffs and government economic policies can have a profound impact on the retail industry, particularly for companies dependent on imports. Managing the risks associated with tariffs and global economic fluctuations is essential for maintaining business stability. Reducing operating costs is crucial for maintaining profitability in the retail industry. In addition, companies need to implement effective anti-theft strategies, not only to protect assets, but also to improve the customer experience and ensure safety in stores. The shift towards healthcare services, though not an immediate solution, is a long-term strategy that helps CVS diversify its revenue streams. This shows that retail companies must consider new avenues to cope with competition and ensure long-term sustainability. If you agree with the content of this story, please comment 1 below the video. If you disagree, comment 0. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Now let's continue to follow the next developments. Family Dollar was once a symbol of savings for low-income households, aiming to provide essential consumer products at affordable prices. Known as a preferred choice for those looking to save money, Family Dollar has long been a staple in low-income communities across the U.S. However, by 2025, Family Dollar is facing a significant challenge: an inevitable decline. While its parent company, Dollar Tree, still reports over $30 billion in annual revenue, Family Dollar has become the weakest link in the chain, struggling to maintain its strength in a volatile industry. To cope with the situation, Family Dollar has announced the closure of at least 600 stores in 2025, marking the downfall of one of the most beloved retail chains. One of the main factors behind Family Dollar's decline is the impact of tariffs. More than 90% of Family Dollar's products, from toys and clothing to household goods, are imported from China. Therefore, the increase in tariffs, particularly the 15% to 25% tariffs on consumer goods, has caused the prices of these products to rise significantly. For example, a $2 broom now costs $2.60. With Family Dollar's primary customer base being low-income families, this price increase has become a heavy burden. Consumers who turn to Family Dollar to save money can no longer afford the rising costs of essential products like brooms, laundry detergent, or toilet paper. As prices rise, consumers will seek cheaper alternatives from other dollar stores or major chains like Walmart, where prices are less affected by tariffs. In addition to the issue of tariffs, Family Dollar is also facing an increase in theft rates at its stores. While discount stores always struggle with theft, the rate of theft at Family Dollar has reached an all-time high, causing significant financial losses. The loss of goods not only reduces revenue but also increases costs due to theft, putting pressure on the company to maintain profitability. When these losses go unchecked, the company is forced to implement stricter security measures, which increases operating costs and further diminishes business efficiency. Stores that are seeing reduced revenue combined with rising theft-related costs have made it difficult for Family Dollar to maintain stability in its retail operations. Another important factor adding pressure on Family Dollar is fierce competition from larger rivals like Walmart and online stores. Walmart, with its ability to maintain low costs and offer a wide range of quality products at affordable prices, has become the preferred choice for consumers, especially low-income families. Walmart's strong presence in the discount retail sector has pushed Family Dollar into a tough spot. At the same time, the rapid growth of online shopping platforms like Amazon has changed American consumer habits. Consumers no longer need to visit physical stores for their daily purchases. They can easily shop online for cheaper products and have them delivered to their homes. This has drastically reduced foot traffic at Family Dollar stores, while the company struggles to compete effectively with online competitors or price-cutting rivals like Walmart. Although Family Dollar is facing difficulties, the company is trying to pivot and adjust its strategy. One of its initiatives is to emphasize basic consumer products and expand services like home delivery to meet the needs of customers in the age of online shopping. However, this shift has not been enough to save the company's retail business, as the competition continues to intensify. The failure to maintain competitiveness in the retail sector has forced Family Dollar to make the painful decision to close many stores across the U.S. This shows that, despite its strategic adjustments, the company cannot quickly overcome the dramatic changes in consumer behavior and the economic landscape. One important lesson Family Dollar has learned is that rapidly adapting to market trends is a matter of survival. Retail businesses must focus on building strong e-commerce platforms and developing online sales models to meet customer demand. The rise in costs, particularly from tariffs and theft-related losses, has severely impacted Family Dollar's profitability. Effective cost management and risk control measures are essential for ensuring the long-term sustainability of the business. With its primary customer base being low-income families, Family Dollar must pay more attention to understanding and meeting the unique needs of this demographic. This will not only help retain customer loyalty, but also allow the company to thrive in this niche market. Rite Aid, once one of the largest pharmacy chains in the United States, is now facing an irreversible decline. At its peak, Rite Aid owned more than 4,800 stores nationwide, serving millions of consumers every day. However, by 2025, the company has fewer than 1,800 stores and plans to close another 500 by the end of the year. To cope with the severe financial crisis, Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy at the end of 2024 and is now struggling with a massive debt load. The fall of Rite Aid is not just a sign of failure in the retail industry, but also reflects significant issues within the company's business model. One of the main factors behind Rite Aid's collapse is its outdated business model. While direct competitors like CVS and Walgreens quickly expanded into healthcare services and insurance, Rite Aid remained dependent on the traditional retail model, focusing on selling pharmaceuticals and consumer goods at physical stores. Companies like CVS and Walgreens recognized that the pharmacy retail market was not just about medications, but also about healthcare services and insurance. They expanded into these areas, offering services like in-store health screenings, immunizations, and health insurance, thus boosting revenue and maintaining their competitive edge. On the other hand, Rite Aid, despite having the opportunity to develop healthcare and insurance services, failed to adapt in time and remained overly focused on selling pharmaceutical and consumer products. This inability to adapt meant that Rite Aid gradually lost its competitive edge, especially as consumers increasingly sought integrated healthcare services. These services not only attract customers, but also provide a stable income stream for companies. Rite Aid's failure to keep pace with market changes has left it unable to maintain financial stability. Another crucial factor in Rite Aid's decline was the impact of tariffs on consumer and pharmaceutical products imported from China and Vietnam. The products that Rite Aid imports from these countries have been subjected to tariffs ranging from 10% to 25%. The rise in wholesale costs has increased the prices of Rite Aid's products, making it impossible for them to maintain competitive pricing compared to their rivals. The increase in costs not only reduced Rite Aid's profits, but also created a pricing gap between them and larger retail competitors, who could either produce their products or have more stable supply chains. This made it difficult for Rite Aid to attract customers, particularly when they could find similar products at cheaper prices in other stores. The inability to maintain competitiveness in the market led Rite Aid into a huge debt burden. The company had borrowed substantial amounts of capital to sustain operations and expand in previous years, but as revenue sharply declined, they could not meet debt obligations on time. The growing debt pressure created a financial strain, preventing the company from executing necessary strategies for recovery. Unable to restructure and resolve its debt, Rite Aid made the painful decision to file for bankruptcy at the end of 2024. This was a difficult decision, but also serves as a warning to companies that cannot manage their finances effectively in the highly competitive retail industry. Despite the crisis, Rite Aid can still learn and find ways to pivot for recovery. One potential solution is to develop integrated healthcare services, similar to what CVS and Walgreens have done. Offering in-store healthcare services could help. Rite Aid create a stable revenue stream and attract customers back to the stores. Additionally, the company must work more closely with suppliers to optimize the supply chain and minimize wholesale costs. Finding suppliers from countries with lower tariffs or establishing domestic production systems could help Rite Aid alleviate the cost burden and maintain competitive pricing. One of the greatest lessons from Rite Aid's downfall is that retail companies must change their business models to meet the new demands and trends of the market. If Rite Aid had quickly shifted to offering healthcare services, it might have maintained its competitiveness and developed a sustainable future. The market requires flexibility in supply chain management, and more importantly, the ability to quickly adapt to changing customer needs. Ineffective financial management was one of the main causes of Rite Aid's decline. Companies need to maintain a strong financial strategy, especially in tough times. This includes minimizing debt, optimizing costs, and ensuring stable cash flow to ensure long-term operations. Finally, retail companies must focus on developing services that can create lasting value for customers. Healthcare services, insurance, and medical offerings are areas with great potential and can help companies stay competitive in the highly volatile retail market. The collapse of Rite Aid is a warning for all retail companies about the importance of changing their business models and optimizing financial strategies. Adapting to changes in customer demand, investing in healthcare services, and managing costs effectively will be the key factors for retail companies to survive and thrive in the future. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us, and stay tuned for more videos. If you have any thoughts on Rite Aid's situation, feel free to leave a comment below.